Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the character details that were released for the Dokkan 10th anniversary, and we will discuss super briefly some of the events that were announced, but mainly we'll focus on the characters and their details. So obviously we know the campaign theme, I just put this as the little opening. Then we were announced 4 different story events. Know that 2 of them obviously will drop characters, the other 2 will probably drop support memories. They are each themed around different parts of Dragon Ball and its sagas. So we have Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super. The 2 units that drop will be a Demon King Piccolo Elder from the Dragon Ball edition, and from Dragon Ball Z edition you will get Trunks Kid. Both of these will then Dokkan Awaken, one into an LR, being good old Mr. Demon King Piccolo. From there we will get a Dokkan Chronicles event. This one will probably be similar to the previous event style, like special events that we've gotten, so like the Broly ones, we got the Trunks and the Zamasu one, the Inherited Hope one, the Divine Being. So we got basically a whole bunch of new different events. This one is focused on Dokkan specifically itself, and you will face event characters. And then finally we have announcement of the Purunga Dragon Ball campaign. This has been shifted. They mentioned that usually it's at a different part of the year, but now they are moving it to the anniversary. From there we begin to talk about our characters, starting with probably the one that people are most hyped for based on the release, being the Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Vegeta Angel, the reverse tag unit, and obviously the Super Vegito. It's very important to understand the reverse tag feature. For anyone who has not played Dragon Ball Legends, this function or this mechanic is super simple. Basically you'll be able to switch between Goku and Vegeta after a certain amount of time at free will. So basically you can switch whether you want to run the Goku variant of the unit for that turn or the Vegeta variant, and depending on what you choose, their passives will change. They share all the same categories: Earth Protecting Heroes, Bonded Parent and Child, Fused Fighters, Resurrected Warriors, Pure Saiyans, Vegeta's Family, Earthward Fighters, Worthy Rivals, Potara, Otherworld Warriors, Majin Buu Saga, One Final Trump Card, Goku's Family, Battle of Wits, Super Saiyans, Gifted Warriors, Turtle School, Time Limit, etc. The big thing is leader skill. Leader skills are huge for the game and the game's meta. We have the introduction now of 250% HP leader skills and 220% attack and defense skills. Carnival units will now have 220% HP, attack and defense skills. So Dokkan Festival units, huge big plus to them. They have more HP if you have characters that meet all of the requirements. Obviously their leads are still more flexible, but it's a huge shift in the meta. An extra quarter of health, an extra attack and defense, up to 220. It's going to change how tons of units perform. It's going to change how hard they make events. They're giving you more health. You're going to be hit harder. But Earth Protecting Fighters, Fused Fighters, and Pure Saiyans, category key plus 3 HP, 200% attack and defense of 170. An additional 50% in all 3 categories for characters belong to Earthbred Fighters or Potara. So huge coverage for Majin Buu Saga here. Huge coverage for Pure Saiyans, huge coverage in general for Goku units, Hybrid Saiyans, so really, really good. The super attack effects, this is for the Goku side of the unit. His attack permanently on his 12 key, greatly raises his defense 1 turn. On his 18 key, greatly raises his attack permanently whilst greatly raising defense 1 turn. In terms of his passive, he has attack and defense of 200%. He receives an additional key plus 2 per type key sphere obtained. And Earth Protecting Heroes or Potara category allies will get key plus 1 and defense of 40%. He has damage reduction of 50% flat for the first 3 turns, 200% attack when attacking, damage reduction of 20% when attacking, and attacks are effective against all type with 10 or more key. With 20 or more key, he will launch an additional super attack, and as a second or third attacker, he will have an additional 20% damage reduction and launch another additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super. He's starting from the 4th turn from the start of battle, meets up with Super Saiyan Vegeta Angel, and then can perform his reverse switch. So your standard really good second slot unit, the 50% damage reduction, is protect him until he gets into the Vegeta form, which is more defensive, and also he has the ability to perform really well in the second or third slot. He does have built-in additionals, but remember, we need to worry about building him with other factors in mind. So for now, obviously crit would be the preferred build, but we do have to consider the other implications of the reverse switch of the unit. But so far so good, really stock standard, simple unit, but really good. Then you get to Vegeta. Vegeta can be reversed or switched into from obviously the previous specifications. You can choose either Vegeta or Goku. If you choose into Vegeta, you will raise your defense permanently on your 12 key whilst greatly raising attack for 1 turn, and greatly raise your defense permanently while greatly raising attack for 1 turn on your 18 key. In terms of his passive, he has attack and defense of 200%, flat damage reduction of 50%, and the same type of key mechanism, 2 key per type key sphere. Instead of defense for allies, he will give attack, and he also has additional damage reduction with his 10 or more key, and an additional super as well. So he has less supers, but he is far more defensive. If he is in the first position in the turn, then he also has a guard against all attacks. So both of them fire a lot of additionals. Vegeta very much is more defensively orientated by a long shot, and generally speaking is considered a slot 1 unit comparative to Goku, who is your more second slot based unit. Then we have Vegeta. So Vegeta and Goku have different active skills. If you are Vegeta, when you utilize the active skill, you will have key +3, attack and defense of 18% for the rest of battle, and guaranteed guard, which means that Vegeta then becomes far more flexible, being a first, second or third slot unit, more so than just being in the first slot with his guard, which is pretty cool. The big thing to understand here is you can choose either or active skill. So if you use Goku's active skill with your unit, you can't use Vegeta's. If you use Vegeta's, you can't use Goku's. But you can use them with the other character. So for example, if you take 2, if you take 1 as your lead, 1 as a friend lead, they can each individually activate the alternative active skill. So for example, with the friend lead, if you use Vegeta's, you can use Goku's on yours. So if you use Vegeta's on yours, you can use Goku's with the friend lead. For Goku, obviously the big one, everyone's obviously super duper excited about, is Special Fusion. Goku will perform a Potara Fusion that lasts for 4 turns. This can be activated from the 5th turn from the start of battle. With this, you become Vegito, and Vegito is insane, literally the most insane unit in the game. However, it only lasts for 4 turns, but this, they said, is for a game balancing thing. Clearly, he is insane. You will see now that he is. He only has Ultra Supers, so he has no other form of super attack. He only has Ultra Supers, which greatly raises attack and defense. In terms of passive, he fully recovers your HP once. He has attack and defense of 300%. He receives an additional key 3 per time keys are obtained. He guards all attacks. He has damage reduction of 60%. He launches an additional Ultra Super attack every turn, and he is a 40% attack and defense support for the Earth Protecting or Potara category allies. He also has a chance of performing a critical hit of 20% up to 100%, and he gets attack of 10% up within the same turn with every attack received. So counters will count for this. So basically, if he counters a lot, he builds up his chance of performing crit all the way up to max, and he builds up his attack as well within the turn, which makes him really insane. He also sees where super attacks are, so you can actively also put him in harm's way. He also has an active skill. This causes ultimate damage to the enemy, gives him defense of 300%, directs all the enemy's attacks towards him, and all attacks become critical hits. So not only does he do huge damage when countering, but he has a taunt. So he literally exists to be the probably best unit in the game during those 4 turns. I don't think there's any given reason how he's not the best unit in the game, basically. He is absolutely nuts. In fact, so much so that they restricted it so you can even use one of them. Remember, you can't use the Goku's active skill on the other version of the Goku, so you literally can only use Vegito once. Then we move on to Super Saiyan 3 Goku GT, Giant Ape. On a lot of categories, Giant Ape Power, Giant Form, Super Saiyan 3, Transformation Boost, Pure Sans, Kamehameha, Goku's Family, All Out Struggle, Turtle School, Miraculous Awakening, GT Heroes, Entrusted Will, Bond of Friendship, Battle of Fate, Accelerated Battle, Power of Wishes, Bond the Parent and Child, Uncontrollable Power, Earth Fighters, Earth Protecting Heroes, and Power Beyond Super Saiyan. His leader skills, Giant Ape Power, 220% across the board. I think a lot of people weren't too happy with this. Power Beyond Super Saiyan obviously generally would have been more widely accepted, I think, because it would have encompassed more characters. But Giant Ape Power is okay. I think, it's better than GT Heroes, maybe. I don't know. It's a difficult one to measure, I must be honest, because I think his only option was Power Beyond Super Saiyan, but I feel like that was too powerful a category to give a 220% lead to right off the bat, so I do understand. In terms of his super attack effects, he greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, and greatly raises it for 1 turn on his 18 key. His passive skill is Key plus 3, attack and defense of 200%, a high chance of crit, an additional 2 key per AGL key sphere, an additional key per non-AGL key sphere, and 50% defensive support for PBS characters. All of that really good so far. He guards all attacks and has a 70% chance of evasion, and for every 3 key when attacking, he gets attack and defense of 30%, and will guarantee crit when he gets a 24 key. So, an additional centric unit that, generally speaking, is just a really good support-based character. The big ticket is when he transforms. His Giant Ape form can be activated when the HP is 70% or less, or starting from the 5th turn. The big thing with this is that the Giant Ape only lasts for 1 turn. The Giant Ape is really good, massively raising attack temporarily and having a 300% attack multiplier. This is pretty big for Giant Ape forms. A lot of the times they don't have attack multipliers in them. This one does, and he performs guaranteed crit. So you should actually be able to do damage with his Giant Ape form, which is pretty impressive. Once he transforms, he then becomes Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and now Super Saiyan 4 Goku I think is very good. I know some people are a bit on the mixed side with him. I think he looks really good, permanently raising attack and defense on his 12 key, raising attack and defense and causing mega colossal damage to the enemy, and raising allies attack and defense by 44% for 2 turns. So he's a 2-turn support unit. Very crucial, especially since you probably want to run 2 of him, meaning having 1 on each rotation means you have a permanent uptime on a 44% attack and defense buff, which is absolutely vital for units that fall under this category. Then we have Key plus 4, attack and defense of 200%, an additional Key plus 2 per key sphere obtained, Power Beyond Super Saiyan or Giant Ape Power allies defense of 70% and damage reduction rate of 10%. This is huge. It makes him a improved version of the Int Broly, who I like a lot, and he will boost so many units. The Giant Ape Power or Power Beyond Super Saiyan category, especially the one he leads, I think people need to remember that there are some units there that I'm not going to say are bad, but they are on the borderline of being really good again. One of those units very obviously is the one that will receive an EZA, being the physical LR Goku and Vegeta, but another very crucial one is the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the Int one. On top of that as well is the potential Tech Giant Ape Vegeta EZA. So this category could be getting 2 EZAs and also a big boost to Int SS4 Goku, who is honestly a really good unit still. His full power form is still really good. He has that very big damage reduction, which is massive, and now he will become a 60% damage reduction unit instead of a 50, which is very crucial. He performs a critical hit when he has the first 4 turns. He has 100% attack and defense when attacking. Every 4 key gives him attack and defense of 44%. He gets an additional super attack at 24 key, and he also boosts his critical hit with every attack received and with every attack performed. So very big. Remember, he's also healing. So I think SS4 Goku is really good. I genuinely think he's absolutely immense. I think he's a very impressive unit, and honestly I think he's really good. Next we move on to the last of the 3, Vegeta, probably the least well received I would say on the surface level, but I still think looks really good. I always anticipated him probably being the most muted out of the 3, just due to the fact that his category is pretty powerful. But with that being said, Vegito is pretty nuts, and Majin Buu Saga is now probably definitely the best team in the game, so we'll have to see. Categories: Powerful Comeback, All Out Struggle, Gifted Warriors, Miraculous Awakening, USS, Bond the Parent and Child, Realm of the Gods, Superheroes, Pure Saiyans, Tournament Participants, Successes, Full Power, Vegeta Family, Siblings Bond, Worthy Rivals, PBSS, Reps of Universe 7, and bond of Master and Disciple, and there's a reason why they did Giant Ape Power. If you don't notice, Vegeta's on PBSS, and so obviously they want to avoid that, and so is the other unit. Universal Survival Saga category lead will keep +4 HP attack and defense of 220%, so directly replacing MUI Goku. I mean, you can take that with what you wish, but it's a great leader skill to have. Tons of great units that benefit from that extra 20% across the board. Raising attack and defense for 1 turn causes colossal damage to the enemy. Greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn causes mega colossal damage. He has a unit super attack that will greatly raise his attack and grade permanently whilst greatly raising defense for 1 turn. The conditions are to obviously have an ally whose name includes Goku attacking in the same turn. This is pretty straightforward. In terms of his abilities, he will activate the entrance animation when there's another USS category ally on the team. This gives him an attack of 6% up and damage reduction rate of 30% for 6 turns. Not difficult to hit, not difficult to do at all. Then he has attack and defense of 200%, randomly changes key spheres of a certain type, strength excluded to rainbow key spheres. So, pretty good. When attacking, he has attack of 200%, and for every attack performed, his defense will go up to 200%, and he will have key +1, and his damage reduction rate of 7% within the turn will go up. Within the turn, okay, I was about to say. I thought I saw the infinity sign there, I was about to say that's pretty crazy. He launches an additional attack. There's a medium chance of becoming a super attack up to 5 times within a turn for every 2 key spheres that he obtains, so a lot of additionals. And then after he performs 6 or more super attacks in battle, he will have damage reduction rate of 30% going up, and after he's performed 7 or more, he performs a critical hit. So obviously his design is more of a second slot unit. Basically he's designed to have that flat 30% damage reduction. He exists to be like more of a second slot unit that basically is enabled by doing a lot of super attacks and then building up that damage reduction, and potentially basically firing up to 5 super attacks, building up another 35% damage reduction, greatly raising the defense. Like, he's very good in the second slot. He can do a lot of damage. I just think he's very, when you look at all the other units and how they obviously complement their teams, he seems very basic, but people have to understand that he's designed to work alongside Tech MUI Goku, AGL UI Goku, units that have a very, very good abilities to evade and dodge, and so he's just there to be a great second slot floating unit, orb changing. He's pretty good. Obviously there is going to be coins for the banners that I think most people assumed would happen, but it's been confirmed. And if you take a look at the banners as well, you can get an idea of who's on it. So for the Dokkan Fest banner, we have AGL Burly, we have the Physical Kamehameha Trio, we have the AGL LR Blue Boys, and we have a new banner Hercule, whose details we haven't received yet. And then we have on the Carnival banner both Goku and Vegeta, which I think is huge for Carnival banners. And then we have the Gamma 1, Gamma 2, Kamehameha Gohan, Janemba, and Trunks. So the Carnival banner looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie, the Dokkan Fest banner looks pretty good as well. But that is it. So super excited for the 10th anniversary tomorrow. Obviously, guys, I am wishing you all the best of luck. You will probably see me releasing a whole bunch of content, but please let me know how your summons went. As soon as you can. I wish you all the best, and I will probably be going for Vegeta or Goku. I mean, you go for Goku and Vegeta by default, but yeah, I'll probably be going for either or. But yeah, that's it from me. Bye.